Yep, good. That's time, yeah.
Top down there. Yeah, I'll keep it as well, you know, see, delivery. I'll keep
Right. Do we have this somewhere close that you can refer to it? No? You're gonna have to cuddle up. I don't know. You're gonna share.
Even if you just get a bit closer, you can reference it.
Unless you can catch what I'm saying and take notes. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go through this and then do it that way. But for the people who are here, if you don't have one of these, we'll try and get one to you at some point, so you can have it all the time. So today we're going to do mortgages, and I don't know. I don't have a mortgage myself, but I've found some ways of how to deal with it, just by reading the paperwork and knowing how the process works. Everything is trust in corporations, as we say all the time. And I'll explain with the three triangles. That's a trap that keeps you locked up so you don't ascend. And the trap is politics, culture, and religion. Yeah. And if you are someone who subscribes to these things, you end up in you end up in this. Okay? You become a box head. That's why you say if you want to be creative, you have to think outside the box. So that is a box. If you need to be creative, you need to think outside religion, culture, and politics. And then you'll be thinking outside the box. But that's a trap. As long as you're doing one or two of these things, or three of these things, you'll always have limitations. So the point is to get away from it. This one here is trust. This is what's being run. Because everything is trust. There's a triangle as well. Up here you have the grantor, or the testator, who puts property into a trust. Somebody on the front? So grantor is up there. Then you have a trustee who runs the trust for the benefit of the beneficiary. So those are the three branches of a trust, if you will. Now, the trustee, the only condition of a trust is there have to be two people minimum. Two. Because that creates a corporation. As soon as you have two people, you have a corporation. That's a trust. But the only condition is that trustee cannot run a trust for their own benefit. Okay? That's it. Otherwise, it becomes a business. Right? So what these people are doing is they're running your trust for their benefit. But you're the true beneficiary. So you need to let them know or put them notice that that name that they're running account on belongs to you and you're the beneficiary of it. You see? But they claim that status and make you a trustee of your own name. So that's the entire game anyway. So as long as you're not made trustee of your own name, you're not liable for anything. Okay? This one here is authority. Because they claim to be some sort of authority, and we say, where do you derive it from? And they can never explain it. But according to their system, the place was created by something called God. So G is number one. So I'd say that's number one. So God created this plane that we live in, and then God got bored and he said, let me create something else. And what did he create? He created man. You see. So authority, man, God created man created corporation. So this is where the corpse are. This man is live. This is a corpse. It's dead. It's the opposite of live. So that's what it is. So corpse can never have authority over man, because man is living and corpse is dead, and man can never have authority over God. But what's happened now is they've swapped this round, and they say to you that a corporation can run you, and they own you, which is ridiculous, you see, because they can never ever have authority over you unless you consent to it. So that's where consent comes in. And their consent is by implication, it's not expressed. So what they're going to do is they're going to trick you to give you your consent. So it could be a simple thing as what you do. Could you please get out of your car and stand there? And if you do that, that implies consent, and that you're under that jurisdiction. So that's what this means. This one is more symbolic of how to look at symbols. So you're going to see that in their advertising, they're going to change their A to become a vector always. And very surprising, you can Google all the time and you see all these ads with a vector. You're going to see the symbol as well, which is the O. So it's alpha and omega. That's what it means. Alpha and omega, the symbol is always made into a sun, or varied in a name. Same with this one. As above, so below. And that's what it is. Eye of Horus, and the black sun on the other side. That's what it is. Okay? So, apart from that, we're going to go into mortgage. We're going to show you how to take your mortgage, more or less. I don't know how people lose their houses, because this thing is very straightforward, as far as I can see. Okay?
So what's that symbology to do with?
I'm sorry?
What are those alpha omega to do?
Right. The symbology is to let you know that they're using metaphysical energy to deprive you of your energy.
But which one do they represent about what you're saying they represent?
Well, which one? The vector is an A.
Yeah.
So they're going to write their vectors in this, what do you call them? Their logos, to identify that they know what this is. And that's the energy they're using, you see. But if you don't know what that is, then it's going to pass you. And you're going to wonder why you are attracted to certain products. But it's the symbols that are used to reach your subconscious.
Yes.
And once they reach your subconscious, they can manipulate you. You see, language in this words is a very small portion. Most of our language is not written, it's spoken. It's very symbolic. Because one symbol could be 1,000 words. Like this symbol is very powerful. Just circle, even that symbol. Well, that's the primary one. That starts everything. And from there, it's cell division. It becomes 2. And then it becomes 4. And then you carry on like that. So the symbology is more the subconscious. You need to know that your subconscious is being attacked. Well, they might put something in front that you think is real, there's something behind it always. So when these advertisers send, sorry, I should turn this thing off. So when the advertisers send you their stuff, you just look at it and see. As long as you know what's there, then you can prevent it. So it's about symbology. Things mainly right now, I mean, there's a whole bunch of them, but these are the main ones you want to look for.
Acorn for Equator.
Equator?
I've got an acorn now.
You have an acorn? We know about the acorn, right, don't we? It represents the pineal gland, right? Because you have the 3. If you go up your spine to the top, you're going to have the 3. So you get the pineal gland, hypothalamus, and pituitary. And the pine cone is represented the pineal gland. But with the pineal gland, if you are able to, sorry guys, no. Just turn it off. Yeah, I was talking about. Yeah, if you're able to do, the point of your existence is for you to raise yourself, your consciousness from here, which is root chakras, down here, all the way up here, you see. And that's the only thing you're supposed to do on this plane. is to elevate yourself, turn yourself from lead to gold.
Yeah.
You're not here to pay people's debts, all these fake liabilities. The only thing you're here to do is to advance yourself, to gain your spiritual knowledge so that you can graduate into the next level. But this is not it. This is not everything. This is a very small portion of the entire thing. Okay? So the symbol is just that. Look at your advertising so you can start knowing what symbol means what. And then you can put a block on it, you see. Because they're killing you on symbols, and they're killing you on language as well.
Can I just ask you what ICSI? ICSI, IXXI. 9/11.
Yeah, do that just for the whole time.
What's that one?
This is the symbol of Azazel.
Yeah.
Of what?
Azazel. That's the symbol.
What's that? Which is?
Which is a fallen angel. Yeah, that's what this is. We just removed the.
Yeah, got it. Straight away, yeah.
It's numbers as well. So that's 1. X is what? 10. Yeah.
X is 10,
10
minus 1 is
10 minus
9.
1. 1989.
That's 9/11, that is.
So 9/11, that's what it is. It's called something earlier.
Yeah. So I can write something like that. That's what they do all the time. So instead of writing 9/11, they're going to do that.
It's the energy they're using, yeah.
And because your subconscious is gonna figure it out anyway. If I write an A like this, it doesn't matter. Your subconscious is an A. Yeah. So that's all the trick they're using is the symbols. So I can write my name in letters and then convert that to numbers and then send you something with numbers on it, with my name on it, but you don't know it's my name. But that's the energy I put in it. Okay? So you can use this stuff all the time. They're using symbols to manipulate the situation. All right? So, away from that, mortgages, right? Mortgages are debt pledge. We know that by now. Because mort is mort. That's dead, mort. So you have rigor mortis. You have the mortuary, the morgue. Mort is dead. Right? So mortgage is debt pledge. So you pledge yourself to death. Right? That's where it is. Right. So the most important thing you have to remember about mortgage is this. Land can only be transferred between, as they call it, persons living, you see. So a living man has to transfer property to another living man, right? Because property is inheritance. A corporation is a dead, it's here. It cannot transfer anything, you see. So how is it possible that a bank can transfer property? There has to be a man in the bank who's going to sign a document as a man and say, yeah, and all this stuff, and then they can put that document in. That's the only way they can do it. But they never sign anything. And that's how you're going to win all your cases all the time. Because they haven't, it's not, the mortgage is not a genuine agreement. Okay, it's a void contract from the beginning. There is no mortgage to start with. That's the thing you have to raise to these people. When they claim a mortgage against you, you have to, prove there's a mortgage then. They cannot do it. We've done this for a few years now. I've been doing mortgages since 2015. I haven't received one correspondence from the bank of the things that we asked for. And we asked for the agreement, for instance, assignment, notice of assignment, deed of assignment, any securitization audit, all these things you need, because it's your mortgage, remember that. You have every right to ask for any document concerning that account, because you created it, you see, but they never reveal. As long as they don't reveal or disclose information, they cannot proceed. That is why I don't know how people get foreclosed on, you see, because you stop them on that, non-disclosure, and they can't move, okay? So, we have to understand the difference between law and statutes as well, because law is law. It's been there forever. Thou shalt not kill, it's not going to change. But statutes change every day, because they're not law. They're rules and regulations of a private corporation. So if they don't like it today, they're going to change it tomorrow. And they'll carry on like that.
They're also for people that have registered to vote as well, not for us.
Yeah, statutes are for corporate fictions only, by the way. Okay? All statutes apply on corporate fictions only. They only apply on your legal fictions, but that's a corporate fiction. So statutes don't apply on the man. They apply on corporations only. That is why a corporation is created in your name, so that their corporation can do business with your corporation.
Yeah.
Because they cannot do business with you, because you're higher than them. Okay? So that's the trick. They're always putting you down here in their jurisdiction. Your point is to stay here as man. And that's the word that you need to use, because Satan's job is to destroy man. Right? And we mean that literally in the word. that the word man in your documents and the contracts will be changed to become person. That's what you try to avoid all the time.
Yes.
Because once the man has been converted to a persona, to a person, you lose all your natural rights. So that's the trick, to destroy this word, man. So make sure all your contracts, you identify yourself as that, as man, all the time. Living man, you see, whose body moves and flesh runs. You see, you're a living being who's created in the image of the creator of all things. That's the point. You're not created in the image of the Crown Corporation. No, that's a different story. All right? So, law is law, statutes are statutes. When they try to foreclose on you, they're going to apply something called special proceedings. These are statutory proceedings, right? What you want is ordinary proceedings, which go under the common law of the land. That's what you're looking for all the time. So when they try to foreclose on you, they're going to try and foreclose under a statute, right? But the mortgages are under the common law. And you can stop them at that point. All mortgages are under common law. Why? Because it's common law of the land. All mortgages have to do with the land, you see, with this land. The statutes are mercantile law, admiralty, have to do with laws of the sea, right? Because your house is not in the sea. It's in the land. So the common law of the land applies always, you see. So all mortgages are under common law, right? So it's an agreement. First, I won't go into that. I'm going to go to the solutions part, so you can see how you can do it before I go further and explain where it is. So we'll do the solutions first, and then we'll explain what the banks do. Right. So solution number one that I found out is that everyone who has a birth certificate, that's your socialization numbers or socialist numbers. It's going to have a long number. That is your account. It's a prepaid account that's held by Treasury. So you can use that account to discharge your mortgage, right? So number one, what you do is this. So you use your socialist number. What you do is issue a notice of discharge. It's always a notice under common law. You don't do anything until you've issued a notice. So under common law, you're going to issue them a notice.
Are you talking about national insurance?
No. Birth certificate.
What do you use? Do you use your birth certificate?
That's what I'm saying. Birth certificate for the mortgage.
It's got a number on the side of it, you'll see it.
Yeah. So your birth certificate is going to have a number in it. That's the exemption number that you can use to offset the mortgage. Right? So what you do is, you write out a notice of discharge, stroke set-off of the mortgage against your exemption. And you serve a copy of the bank and a copy on Treasury with an opening letter of explaining what you're doing. All right? That's it. That's number one.
Does it work? Does that work?
Right.
Honestly, I don't have a mortgage myself, but that's
We've done it already. We did something similar in February, and not he's been fine.
The reason for that is this. The reason you can use the exemption is because the country is bankrupt.
That's right.
Right? The reason there is no money anymore. Money is gold and silver. Right? You have two accounts or two monies. One is money of exchange, and one is money of account. The money of exchange is gold and silver. Now, they have something called the Bankruptcy Act, when the country went bankrupt. Okay? And then they removed 1925, I think, Gold Standards Act. 1925 removed gold from circulation. So there is no money, right? The country is in administration. You cannot pay off a debt. You can discharge a debt. So in order for you to be competent, you need to know how to discharge charges. That's all there is to it. So this is a discharge. That's one way of discharging a charge. The mortgage is a charge. You use the exemption to discharge the charge. All right? So that's one. Is that straightforward?
It's hard to believe that you do that. It's hard to believe.
I know.
Well,
I'm saying this stuff is so simple that it's unbelievable. So I'm saying, how can somebody lose the mortgage?
That's what I mean. We've already done it. Ron did it. We did it before the fund. We've already done it.
But I tried to do it for my teeth and it didn't work.
T-phone.
My teeth.
What mortgage?
No,
Well,
try
I
to
tried to
discharge it.
I've discharged my teeth.
You can do that with an insurance number.
Yeah, but I didn't do it though.
Anyway, that's. I don't know.
So when you say you've done that,
Yeah, Ron's already done it. We did it in February, and not happened since back then.
and how long ago was that?
February, that was February this year. We're now in July. You've had not back from HMRC. It was HMRC.
Like,
I don't want to get
if you do it properly, if you do it properly, it's going to
Yeah.
get through. I've done this stuff. I'm not talking about. Anyway,
Okay, yes.
I'm going to carry on. Okay? I'm going to carry on. Number two, you can use a promissory note, right? However, with these promissory notes, that's a statutory way of doing it. You have to understand statutory is legal fiction. If you're gonna use a statutory legal fiction world to do this stuff, you need some numbers in there, because that's all they do, is numbers. So if you're gonna use a promissory note, you need to use some acts, and which section of which act are you relying on? You see, there's a Bill of Exchange Act that's there that you can go through and find which section applies to promissory notes, a Bill of Exchange, and then do it that way. However, if you're gonna use that way, you need the numbers. The more important one is called the Rules of the Supreme Court. I don't have the number here myself, but there's a rule of the Supreme Court that you can use to put in there to do with mortgages. Okay? So that's number 2, the promissory note. Number 1 is a set-off, notice of set-off. Number 2 is a promissory note. So that's for the full amount, if you wish. Number 3 is, in fact, lien. It's called a proprietary lien. That works as well. Similar to a mechanic's lien. The way it works is this: if you take your car to the mechanics and they do some repairs on it, and you can't afford to pay it, they're going to hold the car until you figure out how to pay it. Same thing with the house. When you move to a house, it's empty, there's nothing in there, right? You put so much money and time to make it habitable, and then they want to kick you out. You have a right to draft out a schedule of losses which itemizes all your costs and expenses and give it to them. And say, cool, you can have your house back, but you please pay me what you owe me. And I'm going to lien on the house. You put a proprietary lien on that amount, on that property as well. That's when we're doing it. So if you owe them £107,000 and you've been there 10 years, 7 years, you've spent a lot of money in the house. So you itemize everything. If you put handles, every carpet, you painted it, all that, you itemize it, and say, fine, you can have your house back if you pay me the money I put in to make it habitable. Banks, they won't come. So when you draft your agreements, you give specific time. So you have to do this within 2 weeks or 1 month or whatever. If they go beyond that time, they're default. They can't come back after that. That's the problem, you see. So put them in the places like that. So that's number 3.
Mr. Private Bond.
Sorry. A proprietary lien, and then we go, that's number 4. And then private bond, that's another way as well. You as a living man, you have every authority to create a bond. You see? So you can create a bond for £1 billion and send it to Treasury. This is to offset all future liabilities, all future public liabilities, all of them. You see, and you put a list on it. So it's going to set everything off. Your mortgage, your parking tickets, your electricity, your gas, everything. So they can go and take this piece of paper and go and do what they do with it. And cash it, and then they won't bother you again. So that's an option as well. You can issue a private bond with your name, because you're the people don't understand how much power they have. You're the living essence of everything. Nothing happens without you. Without you, there is no mortgage. If you didn't go to the bank and sign a piece of paper, there would be no mortgage. You see, so you need to run that. You're on. You become competent in your business, and you run it yourself the way you want to run it. Okay? So as a competent someone, you have the authority to create bonds, which are negotiable instruments, and to say that I give you this bond to offset all future public liabilities. Okay? If you're looking for wording for this stuff, there's stuff on YouTube now. What we are doing is we're using the style manuals when you construct contracts now, because we know deception is in the language. Their contracts are void because they're using a language that doesn't exist. You see. So all your mortgage contracts can be voided on language only before even you breach anything. You can just take the agreement and void it for fraudulent use of language and tell them that their contract means nothing because of the way they've constructed it. You see, that's another way of getting rid of a mortgage. You see, it's called fraudulent use of language or fraudulent use of grammar. You see, so that's promissory note. Another one is what I do is to claim the property. That's the process I use, and I do it all the time. We have a 5-letter process over about 2.5 months. So the first letter is to ask them for this information. I need to see the assignment, agreement, conveyance, all these things that you need to see regarding your mortgage. If you don't respond, you give them a notice of non-response. That's the second letter. It goes in about 1.5 months in. Third one, you give them a notice of commercial dishonor because they haven't responded to the 2 previous letters. That's 3 pieces of evidence. Then you write a letter of claim, where you claim the house and say, I claim this house. claim it belongs to me, I paid for it on this day, I don't owe you any money. What do you think about it? I need your rebuttal within so many days. If you don't rebut, you agree with me that I own the house. And that's when you put them in a tight spot. If they don't rebut, then they agree with you. What you do is draft an affidavit, we get it notarized, we're going to serve it on land registry, we're going to put it in the public arena that you own the house and there's no objection from the bank. That's another way of doing it. You see. Okay, another one as well, when you move against them, if you know the fraud, we're going to explain it in paper. Once you know the fraud, you can write a letter of claim to the bank manager and say, I've discovered a fraud in your mortgage. Here it is, and explain what is done. And say, if you don't correct it, I'm going to go to the police and say, and make a criminal complaint against you for fraud. Okay? That's another way of doing it. And the last one is counterclaim instead of a defense, you see. Because the error is this. Everyone that's got a mortgage, when they try to foreclose on you, where do they go? Which court? Kant's court. They go to Kant. The Kant court is not jurisdiction over people or man. It's like a magician's court. The county court doesn't have any jurisdiction over mortgages. That's chancery, if anything, you see. So instead of people arguing in that venue, because as soon as you start arguing in that venue, you've accepted the jurisdiction, and you've accepted your legal fiction, which they're going to go into a trust account and collect money from it. That's all they're doing. It's administrative, right? What you're meant to do is put in a counterclaim, you see. So they claim that they loaned you money. Your counterclaim is what? No, I think there's an error. I loaned you money. And leave it at that. I want my money back. They want £100,000, you want £200,000. That's it, because you loaned them the money. They never give you a cent. So that's the counterclaim, all right? If you want a counterclaim, not in that venue though, you need to transfer it first of all. First thing you need to transfer it to the proper jurisdiction. So as soon as they give you notice of foreclosure, you're going to let them know that the Kant's court does not have jurisdiction over such matters, like a mortgage, right? Please transfer this matter to the proper jurisdiction of the Chancery Division of the High Court. That's it. If they do take it to the High Court, which they won't, because they have no jurisdiction there, they won't take it. And if they won't take it there, then the case is finished. You're not going to deal with it in the lower courts. They have no jurisdiction, you see. So your counterclaim is that. I gave you money. Yep. So who's going to prove that? How are they going to prove it? There has to be disclosure. So what you do is you ask the bank to produce the auditing to show who gave the money to who. Because they have accounts. That's their job, right? So they should have accounts. And the accounts should show that the bank took money, their own money, and gave it to you at a risk. Yeah. That's the only way they can say that they lent you money. Because in our documents, you're asking them, who is the true lender? They won't even answer that simple question. Who is the true lender? You are the true lender. And you never knew it. You own the entire mortgage. If you look at your mortgage, there's no other signatures except you and your wife. There's two of you. There's a unilateral agreement. Where's the bank's signature? They're not in the contract. That's why the bank never forecloses on you. They send somebody else, loan management or whoever. Somebody else is going to come and try and foreclose on you, not the bank.
If they lodge with the land registry the fact that they got a lien on it,
I'm sorry?
if they lodged with land registry,
Who?
the bank,
Okay, you need to check the documents, because the land registry documents, the one that I've seen, say the mortgage is paid. And it said the date when it was paid. Yeah?
does it?
Yeah?
Land registry
Yes?
documents and mortgage
Yes?
paid.
Yeah? All of them. And it says when it was paid, and in what amount. So that's the document you use as your evidence to your claims.
What document's that then?
I don't know what number it is, but it's a land registry document.
Are you talking about the deeds of the house saying?
No, not the deed. There's a land registry document that they send out to people, and it says it's been paid.
See, I
Yes.
won.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
I rang the land registry, I'm a witness.
Yeah.
What did they say?
Her mortgage has been paid.
Thank you. I keep saying, now, if the mortgage has been paid, what the hell are they asking you for? I said to you,
They said,
when,
however, there's a charge of trying it to...
That's what they're doing. That's right. That's what
exactly.
they're doing.
So that's what you do. Mortgage is paid, guys. Don't be confused. The mortgage is paid. What happens is this. Anyway, I was going to explain. The mortgage is, the explanation is afterwards. We're going to do solutions and we explain what the mortgage, what the trick is. But the point is the mortgage was paid when you closed, guys. Okay?
Yeah, when he signed the
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
That's when it was closed. That's when you own the house from that point. What you do is they make you sign twice. So you sign first of all to own the house.
Yeah.
They give you another piece of paper and you sign it as a renter. Make yourself a renter to your own property. And then give them the job to service the account. So what you're supposed to pay them is just a servicing fee. What they're meant to do is to go and get the money from the renter and take it to the homeowner. So come to you and get the money and take it to you. Yeah,
That's their
yeah,
point.
yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. But they don't do that, they take the money and keep it for themselves, because they're a bunch of crooks. In any case, all mortgages are paid off at closing, there's no question about it. We know that, that's why you sign a promissory note. And that promissory note is converted to legal tender and given back to you. Okay? To keep it simple, that's what happens. You go to the bank today, they have no money, they have no sack of money to give you. They say to you, sign this piece of paper, right? You sign the piece of paper. They're going to take the piece of paper and convert it to legal tender and say, come back next week. Next week, they give you the same amount of money, your money, but your legal tender, there you go. Now pay us back with interest. They're going to give you back your money, and they're going to ask you to pay back your money with interest. So that's the trick. That's the fraud. So this is what you write to the bank manager and say, explain to you what you did. You did this, 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 this. What do you think about it? I need you to answer within so many days. And there's no answer. Not a single bank has come back with anything.
So just gonna ask, so what is the promise? Is it the application form or?
Agreement.
Is it, what is?